This is Adrienne Gavard of Grouse Wine Cellars, and I'm going to talk to you briefly about this beautiful little project you see here, affectionately known as the Snug. This was a wine cellar that was built for a client of ours based out of Kamloops, British Columbia. Kamloops is here. It's just northeast of Vancouver, about a 4-hour drive over the mountains. Really beautiful little area of the world, lots of mountains and trees, and just a beautiful landscape. Anyways, this client reached out to us. Obviously, he's at a bit of a distance, so it's not the typical kind of project where we would come and do an installation unless it was really large and made sense to send installers all that distance. So he had very capable trades that he was working with on other parts of his home project. And so we decided that we would design and build the millwork for his project and that his trades would install. So we started by consulting with him, and we started by collecting a refundable design fee, so that money came back to him when he moved forward with his order. And with that, we put together a few different versions of his drawings. We started with simpler design than what you ended up seeing there in the picture. This was more straightforward. He had given us dimensions and information about his furniture that he wanted to incorporate, but at that point it was more just about wine storage, and there wasn't any climate control consideration. This room was just a regular room temperature. This was going to hold up to 650 bottles of wine though, which is an awful lot. If that was actually full, not have it temperature controlled. The wine would be sitting there for quite a long time. So as you can see, it's mostly just wine storage, open bulk bins, as well as some individual slots, a nice presentation row running through the middle, display feature with the archway and a little countertop for service. And then of course in the center here, this was a humidor that the client himself already owned and wanted to incorporate. So we got the dimensions from him and factored that into our design. Pretty straightforward, mostly wine storage on round one. With the second iteration of the design that you can see here, we now have some cabinetry. So he's got quite a few cabinet doors where you can conceal various items that are not wine, perhaps liquor bottles, lots of different types of cabinet storage, but we still have quite a bit of the individual bottle storage and bulk bin storage for wine bottles, as well as the presentation rows. The archway remained the same, and his humidor was still front and center. On the final iteration of the design, we now graduated to cabinet doors with glass inserts so you could see the beautiful liquor bottles behind. And then we've actually added in, it's a little dark to see in this photo, but on the right and the left side, these are actually built-in climate-controlled wine cabinets that we supplied for him. So they're front vented, they can have the millwork built all around them. And then that did give him storage for close to 400 bottles in proper temperature control. So those would be wines that he wanted to store longer term and make sure that they're safe and protected. We've also now added in some hanging stemware storage on the inside of the archway, which was pretty clever use of space. And you can see where we've called out where all of the LED lighting would be added. So in the center of his archway, over top of the presentation rows, and I believe we ended up adding in some lighting inside these cabinets as well. Popping back to the finished product, obviously this turned out quite nicely. So all the millwork was done in maple with a stain and lacquer finish. You can see where all of the LED is incorporated. You can see his humidor here that fits snugly in the center. And where he would have the stemware, if that was there, these are the storage racks for that. But yeah, we feel this came together really, really nicely, especially with these really beautiful wine cabinets that we supplied. This is the Vino Pro BU 490DS or Designer Series model. Has all label forward, full extension shelving, so they're quite attractive, and it's very easy to find bottles without having to open the door and pull each shelf out to see what's there. Really, actually quite practical. The client's builder did a wonderful job assembling and installing this and finishing the rest of the room with the beautiful coffered ceiling and the millwork rail on the wall. Really just came together quite beautifully. And again, this client affectionately refers to this space as his Snug, which is, I'm told, an Irish term for a small, cozy room in a pub, and we would have to agree. It seems very, very much like that. So we hope you enjoyed the little tour, and feel free to reach out to us if you have a project that's similar that you could use our help with for design and supply. We work with clients all across North America on projects like these.